to get around, because stuff like Jace and stuff like Yasuo have very pointed counters that don't exist in the pools of a lot of players here. I really do like Jace flex picks, but to be that worried about a Jace and pick it away because you worried Nita would go it, that indicates to me that maybe the Vi came out really late, whereas Vi would normally be an opening pick. Because if you're going Vi, Varus, Alistar, and you go Yasuo, tank options for Dominoes are really simple, I feel like. But again, I'm not quite sure of the order. Rel plus Seraphine is interesting because Rel spikes really, really well level 1, and then becomes progressively more completely arse for the rest of the game. Whereas Seraphine, like,
sort of the opposite,
needs
really.
Lost chapter based. Yeah, like basically, we're waiting a while before the Seraphine comes into play.
Well, I tell you what, veteran Snobby used that massive level 1 spike to do a little bit of an invade onto the Ruddy topside jungle, and they are going to be able to spot out No Name here. I think this was fairly not obvious, but you can expect that the Vi is going to be starting topside when you've got an Ornn up there and you're pathing towards a Varus Alistar.
Yep, you are, and it's interesting to me that they're doing this. Oh, wait, the Jace here, trying to make play level 1 in the brush, that's really good. This matchup gets progressively better for Ornn over time. The Jace can win out on short trades, but once level 6 comes in, Ornn's response to that is to initiate a full long trade with the Jace, and he'll always win those. Trying to get something strong level 1 for the Jace will be really good for the matchup here, especially with the jungler pathing bot to top. If he just plays like a psycho, that's going to be really strong. And yeah, we're pathing away from a Rel, but, I mean, you're also pathing away from a Seraphine, and there's no realistic way that they're going to get lethal on bot lane in these early phases. Varus here into a AP plus a all-in champ. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy priority for Ruddy. So both junglers, even though they're going opposite sides, I think that's really good for both sides here.
Yeah, just moving to the parts of the map that make most sense. In the mid lane, Shaolin has been able to exert a fair bit of pressure onto Nita in the early stages, who I'm sure is just going to be concerned with clearing those waves, getting that tier as fast as possible, and becoming that late-game scaling Rise monster we all know he can be. Shackle, make your play in the top side onto Rifty, who's going to burn the flash, and then uses the Bellows Breath to immune the Spectral Maw. It's not going to be enough, though, as Shackle gets first blood.
Yeah, the wave there definitely didn't look so good for Rifty when he went in, which means something was going wrong with the trades early. I feel like the Jace was able to force Rifty to take a level of aggro that shoved the minions in towards the Jace, but not entirely sure what happened. Either way, definitely a misplay from Rifty. You should never be that far up in this kind of jungle scenario, and there's no reason to think that the Viego's going top to bot in these matchups. So, goodbye Dominoes to capitalize. Mistake in the opening phases of the game by Ruddy. Though, crucially, the Jace has not actually been able to recall, and that gank did make the wave decent for Rifty. So, however, the Jace will get his B now.
Yeah, the long-term repercussions may not be great for the Domino top laner, but Shackle is going to be very happy basing at around about 3 minutes and coming back with a Sheen that has great efficiency, great synergy with the Viego's kit. So, he's going to be glad to pick that up. No Name has been able to farm a few more of his camps, though, so is in the lead in terms of XP at the moment. But of course, catch-up XP is a thing, and Shackle will be absolutely fine.
Yep, and with that Sheen plus Dirk on topside, you have to think repeat ganks are going to be the name of the game here. A Sheen is not something we're picking up for jungle clear, it's something we're picking up to be active in our lanes, and Viego is a champion you pick to be active in your lanes. So, expecting action from Shackle rest of the game, but Vi's coming in first.
Yeah, Fjompom has flashed, but he's kind of run into the alcove, which is a very difficult place to escape from the Bellows Breath. He's going to get the stun, No Name, with the first kill for Ruddy.
Yeah, nice to give that to your jungler. I'm still of the firm belief that the most important first item spike in the game is the jungle first item spike, and especially if it's Ornn plus Vi, you would much prefer your Vi to have it. That initial spike will be carried to the rest of the lanes, which is what's making Viego such an imminent threat before that point.
But hold on, Domino responding with the dragon on the bot side, and this is kind of... It exemplifies the way that we've been talking about Domino. It doesn't feel like they're a bad team. They do smart things. They can play out these early stages quite well for themselves, but they haven't been able to really close them out and chain them into wins. They might get locked in the pit though, but actually Sabi is going to flash forward onto No Name, and Naita is going to get taken down, and now Domino will fall. They get a 2-for-1 in that fight, but Shackle is on the wrong side of things. It is a double for Den Voxnay, and I'm not sure the Domino jungler is going to be very, very long for this world. No Name with another kill.
Well, for about 5 minutes there was hope, you know? Yeah, it was going well for a bit, get a gank off on top, but here Snabby went all in, kind of forgetting that his team is far and away from spiking here, goes for the interrupts on Rise. You have to wonder if maybe there was a plan to get the rest of his team out, but that would require Larry to burn Flash, a lot of people to burn Flash to get out, but there was realistically no way that they were winning that, and you can see the power of the Alistar against an all-in champion like Snarby that allows this Varus Alistar lane to be so dominant, along with obviously the comparative weakness of Larry in the early phases of the game.
And Nash has been a real standout player for Ruddy, being able to continually find engages on, well, stuff like the Alistar there. I think of the Rakan as well. Champions that haven't really been too popular, at least for the first half of this season. He's still able to make it work. Picked up 3 assists for himself. Gone for the Moby boots, actually. This is a cow that wants to get on map as soon as possible.
Yeah. Shackle's still trying to find things in lane. I do fully agree with what you're saying about Nash, though. He had a really good split with Riddle before, but he's really come into his own and into the spotlight somewhat with this Ruddy roster. The opening Sona games, obviously, is quite strange to see someone able to play those champions and willing to do them in those kinds of matchups. But he's showing that these all-in and pick-based champions that he was doing so well on Riddle are still his bread and butter. And yeah, he played that team fight brilliantly. Right now, the question is more or less how Ruddy look to close and transition into a winning mid-game for them where they have tempo. For me, I think it's going to come down to this Herald. They should be thinking about a swap from bot into mid into top. Nash already ahead on those moves.
But Shaolin pressing E and just knocking the cow away. Snarby's going to see this as a potential opportunity to jump onto Den Voxnay, but still has Flash, still has Cleanse, still has the Chains of Corruption. It's very hard to lock down this Varus in a side lane.
But if Shaolin is pressing E on the Alistar, he's not pressing E on the wave, and that gives Ruddy priority in towards the Nash on top side. Sorry, in towards the Herald on the top side. And even though Varus didn't move with them off the priority on bot, he can match Larry because Larry's teleport got burned by that play at the Infernal. So Ruddy, they're ahead right now.
Oh, Shaolin walking in, getting caught by the Chains of Corruption. He's going to get an ult down onto Den Voxnay. Larry only hitting one with the Encore. The Syndra is able to escape with a slither of HP, but Nash will not be so lucky. It's a trade kill as Den Voxnay is going to take out the enemy jungler, and Snarby is kind of in a rough spot here. Will pick up Naita before he falls down. Finally, Rifty is able to join the fight. Bun is dead.
Ooh.
And it's a close run thing, but Ruddy come out on top.
Highlights on Den Voxnay there, though, whereas kills weren't present for Ruddy at the very beginning of the fight, he got Shaolin so low that Shaolin was effectively out of the fight and essentially held 3 people on his flank there. So look, Nash goes in, throws Shaolin in towards Den Voxnay, and Shaolin, he gets away on the sliver, but he's not effective in the fight anymore, and then Larry is forced out by DV as well. Right there was a millisecond where DV was essentially 1v3, but Larry and Shaolin being unable to participate in the fight meant that even though the opening kills came over to Domino, the fight was firmly in Ruddy's hands, and there was no real way that Domino were going to be able to enter in and claim a teamfight victory.
Veteran Den Voxnay's got an immortal shield bow and Zerka Greaves at 9.5 minutes. This Varus is absolutely off to the perkies. Domino starting up the Rift Herald. They've already lost a fight around here before, but they feel better about their chances. They shouldn't do, though. That is a big attempt at an ultimate from Snarby, but he's not going to get down in time. Actually, No Name is taken solo, and that is a shutdown for Thyompum. Okay, Domino, you are fighting back against the third-place team. Nash, isolated, low, not able to get over the wall, and will fall down dead. Is it a 2-for-2 as it stands? Den Voxnay still trying to do... No, he's dead, actually. Can't contribute to the fight. Rifty forced back away. It is madness in the early game. Shackle locks down Rifty. Snarby gets the kill. Domino, they keep fist fighting with Ruddy. 8 kills to 10 minutes in.
There was no ultimate on the Varus in the opening stages of that fight. If any fight was done too haphazardly, it was this one. Rifty, he is able to disengage here, but Nash and No Name say, we take this fight. Look at the cooldown on them Boxney on the ultimate there. If he has the ult, they easy win the fight. And even though he's 1v3 here, it takes ages to take out Snarby, it takes ages for Niter to get in, and by the time he does, Shackle is in there getting the resets on Viego.
Oh my god, they're fighting again, veteran! They're fighting again, veteran! Respawns haven't even come through for the previous fight. DB does not go down. Rifty saves his AD carry's life. And Larry will not be so lucky. These fights have been on a knife's edge, but Ruddy seem to be getting the advantage.
This is surely a scrim game that we're just accidentally broadcasting. No, like, this is not real gameplay. This time, the Viego's not even going to get the chance to get resets. Once that Viego starts getting resets, the HP discrepancies between the two teams become far too massive on many occasions. DV's not there at the start again and no ultimate, but it was a really good pick. You can see the Immortal Shilbo doing work for them Boxney there. Rifty just barely saving him before the melee strike comes back up from Jace. And as a result, they're able to win that fight in its entirety. It's a 2v1 on the side with them Boxney coming in, just effectively making an elongated 3v1. Very easy fight for Ruddy to clean up there, but they're just taking every fight indiscriminately. Given the fight that happened before then, I don't think Ruddy are planning any of this. They're just seeing Hero and attempting to kill Hero, and if it turns out the fight was in a good circumstance, they win it. The only player who seems to be aware of whether it's good or not is the guy getting caught on your screen right now on 100 to 0.
No.
Fairness, that's not a fight.
That is a gank, a pick, I believe it's called. Sorry, my League of Legends brain has been a little bit fried.
That ain't a fight, that's a beatdown. They just took him down to the back alley and kicked him to death.
That's not a very nice thing to do to someone.
No, it's terrible. And yet we celebrate the fact that there have been 23 deaths so far in this League of Legends game.
Lord. I tell you what, veteran, if all of our games are like this today, I'm not sure I'm going to have a voice by the end of it. Herald is going to be summoned in the mid lane, not going to be able to take down that tower, but we'll get some more gold into the hands of Ruddy. Despite all of that chaos, we have got a fairly reasonable gold lead for the side of Ruddy, 3,000 to the advantage, but Domino have picked up both of these early Drakes, so if Ruddy aren't able to use this advantage they got to themselves to get more, that stacking advantage is on the side of the blue side team.
Yes, but the thing the blue side team really wants is advantageous fights, and Ruddy seem very happy to give them any kind of a strong fight, regardless of Ruddy's own assessment. They don't seem to be assessing at this point, and they're definitely not so far ahead that they're able to just freely win any kind of a skirmish, right? Even just looking at the gold here, right? Sure, you have a lot on them Boxney, but a lot of these fights are started away from them Boxney. If they want to do this, they have to start getting into better formations before these fight scenarios, rather than assume that just because some of the map is ahead, that your Vi, that your Ornn are also steamrolling. Vi isn't even ahead here, right? In terms of raw gold, right? And if Rifty is ahead, it's by a fraction, and let's be real, he's not your big DPS. Yes, your carries are fed, but Niter took ages to get into the second to last fight. DV was basically isolated for the entirety of the last one. Get into better formations before this, and honestly, just play the game. It's not a scrim, it's a stage game. I know you see Domino on the other side and you're smelling blood, but let's calm down. We're not sharks, we're not animals, even though we're playing like them. Just try to play some solid League of Legends and prove that you're worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as Riddle and Nord.
I'll tell you what, I feel like we saw maybe a little bit of a chilling out there in the mid lane. No Name was thinking about a dive, but Snarby being revealed, Ruddy go, actually, we don't need to continue to make plays for that. That mid lane tower is at about 2 HP anyway. One more also from Niter is going to take that down. That's more gold for the Ruddy mid lane, and that's a lot more map pressure as well. As in the bot lane, Dimfox has died once more.
I mean... well, surely Ruddy won't start a fight now then, right? With their biggest gold advantage gone. Surely they won't. Actually, it looks like they're not. They have definitely calmed down. But now they have to remember how to play the map. It's not as simple as don't fight. There are other aspects of League of Legends as well. Luckily, that particular death, there isn't immediately something on the map that Dominoes want to acquire with 2 minutes until the next Drake comes up, with 4 minutes until Baron comes into play. So, pretty calm even with that death. Like, obviously...
Time to relax.
Yeah, time to relax. It will make Domino a bit better on the next fight, but Ruddy have somewhat calmed down with their fight, but it's not the end of the world to lose out there.
Yeah, and I think the key thing about a game that is this action-packed early on is that you end up with accelerated gold totals on a few of these champions. Niter is very, very close to approaching his second item with that Ceres nearly completed. Might get caught out in the bot lane, though. Snarby thinking about charging up and engage, but more members of Ruddy are moving over to the play. Actually, a flash coming through for the Rune Prison, but Lari able to use the Summoner Spell to just about get away. No Name charging up the Bold Breaker, coming in the backside, and gets Snarby. Den Voxday with the 7th kill of the game. Shackle diving back into the rest of the fight, trying to make the resets happen, but he can't. He dies to Nash, and Fyontbon is looking for Denvox. He's not going to be able to find him. Shaolin can, though, with the unleashed power. Niter kiting with the phase rush on the other side of the fight. The health bars on Domino are criminally low, but not low enough for the Ruddy mid laner to make a play.
Yeah, DV there, he burned his ultimate on Shaolin instead of the incoming teleport, and because of that, it was fairly easy for Fyontbon to just insta-jump on him. Look here, so Niter actually grouped with the team here before the fight. He's the one that initiates the pick, and whereas Nash goes for the follow-up, Lari gets flash out. That's actually a fairly good scenario, but Snarby, he's gone too far forward. No Name gets out, Viego gets really, really greedy here, and the fight extends. The issue is that with that TP... more fights. More fights.
They're fighting again.
You're going to run out of breath, but I can't analyze a single play, you know? If I begin talking about this, all right, somehow, like, Ornn's just going to TP top and just insta start fighting Jace or something. We're going to get cut out the replay immediately, you know? Like, look, TLDR, all right, if they keep them boxing alive, they win the fight. If they don't, it gets a bit doomed, right? All of your cooldowns and everything needs to be in an elongated scenario based around, can we enable them Boxday and Niter to do damage, right? And if they lose track of that, they will end up losing these fights. That sounds really obvious with this composition, and it is really obvious with this composition, but they're quite losing their minds here against Dominoes. Or they're just making things really entertaining, who knows?
I think we're all losing our minds a little bit, and I tell you what, Domino, they've just grabbed their third Drake of the game. They've got an Ocean Soul potentially in 5 minutes' time, excuse me, whilst they don't have the gold lead.
I mean, honestly, if Snarby, like, loses his Hylissang moments here, loses his 2022 Hylissang moments here and becomes more like a 2023 Hylissang, they're actually in a really good position on the map. That play for bottom tower there was really good, but Snarby was so far forward with the Viego that they're not able to cleanly reset and capitalize on the top wave. If they were capitalizing on the top wave, they'd actually be fairly even with Ruddy around the map. And this is the issue. Even though Ruddy are gifting them some fights where they really shouldn't be getting as much as they're getting, Dominoes don't seem to have that map play experience to immediately make those decisions. Why is Jace staying up there on the tier 1 tower? Why aren't we just enabling a reset with our jungle top support and then immediately switching Jace to be on that top tower? I would expect my Jace to be on that top tower right now while mages play to defend against the Herald drop on bot lane.
Encore lands onto No Name in the bottom lane, but no real engage is going to come out. And I think that's interesting that you speak to that, because the kill score is very, very even, but Ruddy are the ones who have been running the map in terms of taking these towers. And even if you've got 3 Drakes in your pocket, that's not going to win you the game. Heck, even if you get Ocean Soul, that may not win you this game. Domino, they need to start taking down some structures so they can move around a bit more freely, but a teleport into the mid lane and their push is cancelled.
Yeah, I mean, they're terrified of the idea of a full dive from Ruddy if they show Jace on top side there. But a dive from Ruddy into a Seraphine, into a Syndra, into a Rel, that would be very difficult for them to execute. You only need 1 reset on that Viego, and I think it becomes a bit more playable. Really, like, the map play from Domino isn't there right now. If it was there, they're definitely in a strong position, right? Or were in a strong position. Now with the Herald drop on bot side, they've lost control of the map again, and Ruddy are firmly in control. But these windows they have to finally turn the game tempo in their favor, they keep losing, and that's getting somewhat frustrating watching the Domino side, because they're so close to making this game competitive with Ruddy.
Ooh, Nitzer is low in the top lane.
Window
He's going to
again.
be dead in the top lane. Shackle
Okay.
getting that one, and that was a reset that we were talking about. No,
missed.
way too far forward. He is going to be able to get the ult down onto the rise. The smart flashback will keep him alive. Rifty knocks Shackle into the air, and he falls down into his grave. That's a kill, a double for Den Voxnate. And once again, Domino, they look for something, but the execution from Ruddy is just that little bit cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, Shackle, he thought he saw it. He thought he saw the window to start resetting in the middle of Ruddy. Maybe immediately turn towards Nash for the next kill, but, you know, he extended just a bit too far. Flash out from Rifty. That can actually be pretty impactful. And Ruddy DV, like, honestly, even though Valis is on their team, and even though Vi was still up, that bit of damage onto Rifty somewhat ensures that they can't start threatening the Baron on this rotation. And the immediate resets are coming up from Domino, so maybe they can take that Baron control back and get the game going a little bit longer. Ruddy have shown that the longer the game goes, the more opportunities like the one you're seeing on your screen, they're happy to give out. Like, this could have been a really easy opportunity for them. They get Niter, No Name flashes out, and Shekel, he really thinks this is the moment for him to grab No Name. He flips for it. I respect the flip for it, but it just wasn't there this time round. And here with the Valis, honestly, DV, Rifty, they're in a good position to threaten this Baron so long as No Name gets back on the map with a decent level of HP. But this pick on towards Rifty, this HP drop means that Ruddy now have to get off the map. Domino match their resets there. They can take back control of Baron, and Ruddy can't just do the typical game-closing actions of threaten Baron, make pick, endgame.
And I'll tell you what, at the moment, Domino are threatening Ocean Soul. They're getting decent damage onto Nash.
They're first on with that reset advantage. It's good. But
do
every
need
time
to
Domino
take
begin
care.
a good play like that, you know, it just barely goes wrong, right? Ruddy are just a bit further ahead on execution, but let's see if that's the way here.
Oh, Snarby is diving forward, and actually Shackle is getting pushed away. Three-man
Reset!
charm, and it's a first kill of the fight for Domino. No Name going down, and Shackle crucially gets that reset, but he gets exploded before he could take advantage, and it's being turned around once more. Every time Domino look for a fight, they find their folly. Ruddy Esports take down 4 in the bot side.
I mean, Shackle has to go for these resets, but Ruddy have enough CC with this ridiculous all-in composition to spare for when he comes out of his invulnerability. I do like the plans that Dominoes have, and I do like the positions that they come in. I love the moonwalking there from Snarby, by the way. Excellent technique. And into a really good triple engage there. One bit of CC down. The charm allows Shackle to get his next one, but look, immediately, the moment he comes out, Rifty is ready for him with the knockups. Nash even was on top of them, and there just isn't enough from Dominoes, despite the Seraphine, to be able to keep Shackle alive long enough to get the next reset going in. Shackle and Jace really are the majority of their damage here. Obviously, you do have the Syndra scaling in at some point, but because you insist on these kinds of champions for Lari, you're very reliant on that Viego, and the moment the Viego was down, it was easy for Ruddy to start cleaning up the rest of Dominoes. But that was Dominoes, again, with a good position on the map, right? That was actually really good position from them. That was one of the best situations they were going to get. But once again, the execution was just a couple of seconds off from everybody. Shackle couldn't quite get backed up by his teammates the way he'd want to. Here again, though, exact same kind of attempt, but on the other side of the map.
Oh, I love this. They're trying to find out No Name. Spectrum always going to get interrupted, but they're not able to join the engage. Then Voxnate can cleanse away, and Shaolin is on the wrong side. It's already 2 kills for Ruddy. Every single time, exactly the same Domino. They look for something, but they find precious little. Already 3 dead, and Shaolin may just get run down.
I mean, you have to respect the fact that they are constantly finding these positions to be in where they can possibly engage on towards Ruddy. But there, you said they're trying to get onto No Name. I think they're actually trying to get onto Demvoxney, and Demvoxney just wasn't falling for this, right? He has a front line to play with. Let's send these guys in first, and if they kill the cow, maybe they can be worthy of the EV, but only Syndra could get a CC on him. And the Seraphine ultimate, immediately cleansed by Demvoxney, starting off with the Michael Jackson special again. Domino's waiting here for their opponents. Oh my god! Wait, this is Tenet.
We're still going backwards. This is incredible. I love this. That we've got here, but you're right. Domino, they keep looking for these engages, but the issue is every time an engage like that doesn't work, it's a little bit more gold on Demvox, and it's a little bit more gold on Niter, and it's Larry overextending in bottom lane. Snarby might get caught out as well, but that Seraphine is a guaranteed kill for Ruddy. Their 29th of the game, and with Shackle getting locked down, they may make it 30. He's able to Heartseeker strike away just in time. This is high-octane stuff, and it's Ruddy coming out on top.
I mean, they'll get a bounty on top lane there, but Ruddy, again, fully in control of the map. They already have the Baron, they already have the Drakes. It's only a matter of time before that tier 2 goes down, taking all of Shackle's jungle while waiting for the next wave to come on bot side. Rifty, he's got the wave in on mid. He can flank if he wants to, or he can just take that tower. Ruddy really can do whatever they want with the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, Demvoxney dies in the bot lane, but it doesn't really change the way that they're playing the map or the way they're approaching the game. They're still able to get down that mid lane inhibitor and apply a bit more pressure. Gold lead is basically 10k at this point, and I'm not sure if Domino have got another fight in them.
I mean, they definitely have another few attempts at the fight. And I can't stress enough how good it is to see that, right? They're not just laying down and dying. They're not just talking about the next game. They are attempting to make picks, and that's really what their composition wants to do. Just there's such a level of crowd control and honestly just juggernauts coming out of the Ruddy side that is very difficult for them to get on top of someone like Demvoxney unless Demvoxney splits himself off. And there were some early fights where you're getting flanks, but as the map has become progressively more and more Ruddies, you're only finding these kinds of brush plays without these flank opportunities. And at this point, look at DV's build, right? He has a stopwatch, he has a Whipsen, he already had the Immortal Shield Bow, and he has Lethal Temper and Gwynzu's Rage Raid helping him permanently stack all these additional resistances and lifesteals. How are you actually going to take him now? And Niter also with the Zhonyas, right? Vi with the Zhonyas. Who really is left to pick? Are you going to 100-0 this Ornn? Gonna say that's kind of unlikely, right? That Alistair Revolt, kind of unlikely. And if you do burn all your cooldowns there, I think Varus and Ryze will agree with you. At this point, I'm no longer worried that Ruddy could throw this game. But it's good that Domino's made the attempts they did. They have a lot of footage to come out of this game with, and this is the kind of playstyle they could try to refine. And even though the Jace is 1-6, by the way, and the Rel is 2-7, like, I do respect their attempts. It would be the Viego with the high kill count here, because the whole composition is designed with enabling those Viego resets in mind.
Yeah, it's sort of just a consequence of the game state, as Nash is going to find a headbutt pulverize onto 2, and that key carry in Shackle is not going to be able to contribute very much to this fight. A triple charm is decent, but Snarby is isolated. Snarby is dead, and Fionpon is going to suffer a similar fate. No Name with that kill, and Ruddy look for even more. No Name will go down.
I mean, Viego's
so 2 for 1 in the play. Shackle does have a corpse that he can't get anymore, but still moving forward towards this Drake is going to be oh so difficult. He's able to dodge away. That's a decent double stun. And actually, Nash taken incredibly low. Zhonyas from Skaggle is going to buy a little bit of time for himself, but as soon as he pops out, Niter will take him down. The Realm Warp forward onto Shaolin and Larry. A flash forward from Niter and Ruddy. They keep cleaning up these engages.
It's very annoying to play a pick composition like the one Domino's have got and yet find that even the enemy carries are tanky. That stopwatch is still up on both the Ryze and the Varus, but their resistances and innate HP are at such a level that they just can't find the breaking point on them. They can't get that initial ball rolling on the Viego resets, and all the pill, everything just comes through. There's no map control to even find flanks on these guys, and if you do, you're not 100-0ing any of them. the options aren't there anymore for Domino's unless they can start making extended fights. But then who really is your DPS in that, right? The whole composition is based around burst, based around picks, and based around that Viego, and they can't get that. There is no plan B on the Domino's lineup. Ruddy are just looking to finish the game in the next 2 minutes.
And it was the creativity, the inventiveness that we kind of wanted, that we kind of expect from Domino at this point. But Ruddy, like you were saying, they're at a point where that creativity, it's not enough to overcome the difference between these two teams, both in game and maybe out of game as well, just looking at their general power levels. We do have 40 seconds until the Baron spawns. I can't imagine that Domino are going to be contesting that. So Ruddy's game plan, it feels like, grab the purple buff, head down mid lane, end the game.
Yeah, I mean, they can play very simply for this Baron if they were able to take full control of vision here. Then Dominoes are forced to choose, do we let you get the Baron or do we fight?
Oh no,
if
Shaolin.
They fight, they lose. If they Baron, yeah, okay, well, Shaolin's dead, so this is just, well, have fun. Yeah, very playable here. Most playable
Good luck in
Syndra
esports.
moment.
Yep.
It's fine, he almost tickled the Alistair.
Almost.
So
Nita's realm warping away on the bot side, so Domino
Look how
can
tanky the ADC
start
is,
to move
man.
over. Yeah, Devoxy has got a lot of HP. Snarby is trying to find a flank for Shackle. I'm not sure that the Viego is going to get anywhere near this Baron pit. Ruddy are going to peel away, take down Snarby. Or at least they're going to try to. Eventually able to grab him. 13th kill of the game for Devoxy. Shackle is on a little bit of a magical journey in the enemy jungle, but I can't imagine the result is going to be very pleasant.
Only has 3,000 effective HP, but, you know, at least it takes him like 5 seconds to delete our tanks.
Is Nita just going to 1v2 here? I think Nita might just 1v2 here! Locks down the Seraphine, and Bum dies as well. A double kill for the Ruddy mid laner and the Baron on top.
That's a 39% win rate champion right there. Really
is it that low?
It was at one point. I'm pretty sure it's just like a 40% one now.
Shackle's kind of winning the 1v1 here, but it's going to take a while. I think longer than his base has got, unfortunately.
It's fine. Like right now, the issue is that Ryze has ultimate in 20 seconds, and he won't be able to prevent himself from realm warping everyone into the fountain.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the real issue, at least on the Domino side, is they're about to lose. Ruddy, focus down the Nexus towers. Focus down the Nexus. Hunt for a few more kills on the fountain. They're not going to be able to find them in a 39 kill to 18 banger.